All right, guys, this is the Worker Harrier.
Yes! 3 seconds. I'll explain in a second. But check this out. I'm in speed.
The Harrier is another spring-powered pump-action mag-fed Nerf blaster. Yeah, I know, but it might be the spring-powered pump-action mag-fed foam flinger to rule them all.
One ring.
Seriously, you might not ever need to buy another blaster after this one. It's not perfect, I mean, nothing is, just ask my wife. But, spoiler alert, if you're looking for your next Nerf War primary, look no further. This is not your regular old Nerf blaster. This is a high-performance, competition-ready dart blaster made by aftermarket mod company Worker. Starting at the front of the blaster,
There's no in-strike barrel log.
you find the muzzle. When you look at the muzzle of the Harrier, all you really see is the end of the gray barrel sticking out. And sure, the Harrier comes with one of those orange Worker scar barrel muzzle devices, but there's more to the Harrier's muzzle than meets the eye. If you grab the barrel by the muzzle, you can actually just unscrew the barrel and remove it completely. The Worker Harrier features a quick change threaded barrel system where you can just unscrew your barrel and screw in a completely different one. The Harrier comes with 2 different barrels, one 12.2 inch and one 14.5 inch barrel, which I have here. These will vary in power and should be used in combination with differently powered springs to find your perfect power level for your blaster. The Harrier comes with these 2 different barrels and also 2 different springs, so you can mix and match until you find the exact performance that you're looking for. There are also multiple other spring and barrel options for the Harrier sold separately, so the possibilities are virtually endless. And speaking of endless possibilities, the Worker Harrier has a lot of Picatinny rails. One full-length rail going all the way across the top of the blaster, 2 medium rails, one on either side of the blaster, and one little short boy underneath the blaster. These rails are super premium and look so effing good in the metallic gray finish. Jeez. They're super sturdy and clean looking, and that's why I could never ever think of replacing them with 3D printed rails. Some people are replacing that top rail with split 3D printed rails just to make it easier to break down. But that's just completely unnecessary. Anyway, for the priming handle of the Harrier, we have a standard Worker vertical foregrip. This thing is a great size and it's super comfortable. But if you don't like it, there's a Picatinny rail underneath, so you can swap it out and replace it with another grip of your choosing. I think it's just fine though, so I won't be replacing mine. The Harrier also comes with another priming option right out of the box. This little bolt action charging handle looking thing can replace the vertical grip if you're really going for that sniper aesthetic. But I have a little trick where you can get the best of both worlds. The actual charging handle is just screwed on like any other screw, so you can actually remove it from this base plate and use that charging handle to screw in the regular vertical grip to the Harrier. Boom! Either way though, the pump action here is unbelievably smooth. It's like butter, baby! And it even has a return spring, so you don't have to push the grip back to the forward position if you don't want to. It'll go there on its own, you lazy b****s. Moving back again, we find ourselves at the Magwell. The Magwell here is very no frills and features a slight flare to make mag insertion a breeze. Remember, the Worker Harrier only takes half-length magazines and only shoots half-length darts. And speaking of mags, the Harrier comes with this puny little 6-round mag that is supposed to fit in with the sniper aesthetic. But that's just for looks anyway, and I don't view the Harrier as a sniper. I mean, you can definitely build it out to be a sniper class blaster with the longest barrel and the strongest spring, maybe a good scope and a bipod if you want to go all the way. But I like to run my Harrier like a rifle. This is my rifle, this is my gun.
This is my rifle, this is my gun, this is for fighting, this is for fun.
So yeah, we won't be needing this puny little mag. The Harrier is fully compatible with Worker Talon mags. Duh. So pop a 15 or 18 round Talon mag in the magwell and you're good to go. The paddle style mag release here is standard and fully ambidextrous. It feels very premium and I prefer it to the older 3D printed Worker mag releases that they used to use. Moving back, we find ourselves at the trigger assembly. The trigger pull here is just as smooth as the priming action. It's like butter, baby. The actual trigger has a texture to it and a flat face to make sure your trigger finger doesn't slip. Damn. Yeah, damn. This blaster does not have slam fire, but that's actually what I prefer on a blaster like this. The Harrier can shoot just as fast as you can pump it and pull the trigger, so you're really not losing anything unless, again, you're a lazy. Not having slam fire allows you to de-prime the blaster, which I much prefer. The Harrier has an amazingly comfortable pistol grip with some kind of rubberized sleeve and a cool looking metal handguard. Blasters with rubberized sleeves on the grip are quickly becoming my favorite, like on this, the Phoenix 2.0, and the Dart Zone Pro Mark 1.2, and I really notice it when they're not there. The handguard is another story. Me personally, I think it looks really cool with its gray metallic finish that matches the barrel and Picatinny rails, but lots of people are removing it and putting a 3D printed cap on the bottom of the grip here. The handguard looks cool, but it does get in the way of the mag release a little bit. If you're trying to hit it with your firing hand, that could be a problem. Some people also just think it looks better without it, but I just view replacing that sexy gray metal with black 3D printed pieces as kind of a downgrade really, you know? All the way back to the top, the Harrier has a nice little set of ABS sights encasing the top rail. But like the sniper mag that comes with the blaster, these ABS sights are just for show. They're so low on the blaster that it's nigh impossible to actually use them. So you're probably going to want to invest in a decent airsoft optic. Last, we have the Harrier's adjustable shoulder stock. The stock can adjust forward and back a few different lengths. You can also slide the stock all the way off to reveal a standard M4 buffer tube with a little hidden spot to tuck away and store the Harrier's included Allen key. This little Allen key is all you need to completely disassemble the entire blaster. Also, it's so small I would surely lose it otherwise. Back to the M4 buffer tube. That means you can replace the shoulder stock very easily with so many different airsoft stocks. But I don't see any need for that as the Harrier stock is more than capable. Though I surprisingly did run into the same problem as Coop.
There's a seam right here that kept pulling my facial hair out of my face, which is incredibly painful.
I don't even have a lot of facial hair, but a few of my lone facial hairs did get caught in the small seam on top of the shoulder stock here.
Annoying.
Anyway, like most high-performance blasters these days, the Harrier can be broken down in order to access the main spring. To break down the Harrier, first unscrew the two screws closest to the muzzle, here and here. Or, if you're me, just remove the screw closest to the muzzle. I actually only installed the two screws on either end of the Picatinny rail. This makes it quicker and much easier to break down the blaster. And I haven't noticed any kind of stability issues with the rail or the blaster on whole. Next, unscrew the two screws on the side of the Harrier that are just after the magwell, or before the magwell, depending on which direction you're coming from. That's it. You can just pull the Harrier apart into two halves and easily swap out springs. This process is simple but can be tedious compared to some other blasters that either use takedown pins or have accessible and toolless spring retainers in the buffer tube. I feel like I'm killing that box over there. Damn. You gotta love this thing. You got to. You have no choice. Let's shoot this thing and run her over the Chrony. Okay, most of my darts went over the edge, and these are good darts.
I'm coming.
All right, while I fumble around with this blaster, let's check out some of the other results from the Chrony. Short barrel weak spring, 169 feet per second. Short barrel weak spring with a scar, 170. Long barrel weak spring, 175. Long barrel with the strong spring, 192. The long barrel, strong spring, and the scar bumps us up to 195.3 feet per second and a standard deviation of 2.7. I never used the Worker Swift, but if it gave us this, well then, thank you, Worker Swift. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. The Worker Harrier is such an amazing and awesome blaster. The pump action prime is buttery smooth. It's like butter, baby. And I must be used to clunky primes because the fact that they offer an aftermarket part to make it even smoother just blows my mind. And something I haven't really touched on much in this review, but is actually a pretty huge deal, is the build quality. The build quality on the Harrier is next level. This is the sturdiest, most well-built blaster that I've ever laid my hands on. And that's not just aftermarket stuff either. That's including official Nerf blasters. This thing is just built Ford tough.
I'm built different.
The ergonomics are also very on point here, and the Harrier is super comfortable. From the textured grip to the vertical foregrips, I really have no complaints here. If I had to force some though, the Harrier should definitely have come with quick takedown pins or at least toolless thumb screws to break the blaster down quickly. Also, that stupid seam on the stock is annoying when aiming in. It didn't happen every time, but it pinched me, and I didn't like that.
Not one bit.
Other than that, there's not too much to complain about here. This is so close to being the perfect blaster. If you don't have one, you should go and buy one. Like now, right now. Seriously, purchase links are down in the description. Heck, I probably even left a link in the comments section too. So check the pinned comment down there. The Worker Harrier is the best injection molded, spring powered blaster ever made. Period. No comma. Yeah, I said it. And that is where the video ends. If you made it this far, let me know your thoughts on the Worker Harrier down below. Have you picked one up yet? And if you haven't, then what are you waiting for? This thing is awesome.
Come on. Do it. Do it. Come on. Do it.
As always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like. It'll help out tremendously, and trust me, I very much still need the help. If you didn't like it though, hit F5 on your keyboard and watch the video again. Maybe you'll like it better the second time around. If you did like this video, I know you're gonna love my last review too, so be sure to click on the video here to watch that one as well. With that said, my name's Blee, you just been tagged out. I love yo foam heads, and I'll see you in the next one.